reports say two sections of Africa, of the continent, have started to move apart, and this change is associated with the East African Rift system.
The ground is breaking. Villages are vanishing. And scientists say Africa is literally tearing itself in two. In some places, cracks are already wide enough to swallow roads, homes, and rivers. Volcanoes are roaring back to life, and the earth beneath is shifting inch by inch, creating the birthplace of a brand new ocean. This isn't a theory or a prediction. It's happening right now. A continent is breaking apart before our eyes, and when it's done, Africa will never look the same again. So, how did it all begin? And what kind of power is strong enough to rip an entire continent in half? Let's go back to where it all began. The day the Earth cracked. On January 17, 2002, the ground in Goma, a city near the Congo-Rwanda border, split open without warning. Within minutes, molten lava poured out of the Nyiragongo volcano, racing downhill faster than traffic on the streets below. In less than an hour, the lava reached the city. Homes, schools, and hospitals disappeared under waves of fire. Over 400,000 people fled as suffocating fumes filled the air. The eruption destroyed nearly 15% of Goma. Scientists later found that this was not an isolated event. Goma sits in one of the most unstable regions on Earth, the East African Rift. The eruption was not just a natural disaster. It was a sign of the continent breaking apart from within. The volcano's magma is unusually thin, allowing it to travel quickly over long distances. This makes Nyiragongo one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Even today, new cracks appear near the city, and tremors remain frequent. This wasn't just an eruption. It was the surface reacting to something much deeper, a slow, powerful force reshaping the continent. That discovery made scientists look past the volcano toward the huge rift running across East Africa. The growing rift. In East Africa, the ground isn't stable anymore. Entire roads split overnight. Farmland sinks, and deep cracks stretch for miles. Scientists warn that this isn't a random event. It's the start of a continental breakup already underway. The East African Rift runs more than 2,200 miles, cutting through Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. It marks the boundary where the African plate is dividing into two, the Nubian plate and the Somali plate. Beneath the surface, enormous tectonic forces are slowly pulling them apart. In some regions, the shift is already visible. Wide fissures tear through villages, and each year the land moves about 1 centimeter farther apart. The process began roughly 22 million years ago, but new satellite data shows it's now accelerating. This separation also fuels intense volcanic and seismic activity. Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and dozens of other volcanoes owe their creation to the same rift. The constant movement of magma below weakens the crust, making this one of the most active geological zones on the planet. If this continues, seawater from the Indian Ocean will eventually flood in, forming an entirely new ocean basin. That possibility led scientists to look deeper, beneath the rift itself, to find out what's really causing it. The ocean that's coming. Parts of East Africa are sinking, stretching, and breaking apart. In regions like Ethiopia and Kenya, the rift floor has already dropped below sea level. Satellite data confirms the land here is spreading faster than anywhere else on the continent. This isn't surface damage. It's the early stage of a major geological transformation. The crust beneath East Africa has become so thin that magma is now pressing upward, forcing the land to tear apart. Geologists call this phase a continental breakup, the same process that once divided the supercontinent Pangaea and created today's oceans. The Afar Triangle in Ethiopia is the clearest example. It's one of the few places where a new ocean can already be mapped before water has even arrived. The volcanic activity and deep sink zones here are carving out a future coastline that could one day reshape Africa entirely. Scientists say this process will take millions of years, but the signs are already visible. Widening cracks, shifting ground, and active volcanoes marking the path of a future sea. So what exactly is driving this massive split? To find out, scientists looked deep below the rift, and what they found changed everything we knew about Africa's interior. Fire under the land. Africa's split isn't just caused by surface cracks. The real force comes from deep underground, a massive column of molten rock known as a superplume. This superplume rises from about 1,800 miles below the surface and is far hotter than the surrounding rock. As it pushes upward, it weakens the crust, causing it to stretch and break apart. This constant pressure is one of the main reasons the East African Rift keeps expanding. Volcanoes like Nyiragongo, Erta Ale, and Mount Kilimanjaro are direct results of this activity. They act as release points for the energy trapped below. When the pressure builds too high, the result is an eruption or an earthquake. Recent research from the University of Southampton found that this molten flow doesn't rise steadily. It pulses, almost like a heartbeat. Each pulse adds new stress, further cracking the land and speeding up the continent's separation. The superplume has been active for tens of millions of years and continues to reshape the landscape. Every tremor and eruption across East Africa can be traced back to this deep, hidden source of heat. But scientists soon discovered something even more surprising. The real key to Africa's split might not be fire at all. It might be something entirely opposite. The hidden water below. In 2014, scientists made a discovery that completely changed how we see the Earth's interior. Deep beneath East Africa, nearly 400 miles down, they found massive amounts of water, not in liquid form, but locked inside a rare mineral called ringwoodite. Under extreme heat and pressure, this mineral traps water within its structure. Studies show there could be more water hidden inside the Earth than in all the oceans combined. In East Africa, these underground reserves are unusually dense. When this trapped water interacts with molten rock from the superplume, it reduces the melting point of the mantle, making the crust weaker. This allows the land above to stretch and tear more easily. Geologists believe this mix of heat and hidden water is one reason the East African Rift is expanding faster than expected. It increases volcanic activity, triggers more earthquakes, and speeds up the continent's breakup. This discovery proved that water deep inside the Earth isn't just passive. It actively shapes how continents move and evolve. But that knowledge raised another question. If these forces can reshape the land from below, what do they create when they finally reach the surface? That's where the story takes a surprising turn, at a deadly lake born from the rift's power. The Lake of Death. Lake Natron in northern Tanzania looks peaceful from a distance, but it's one of the harshest environments on Earth. Sitting directly on the East African Rift, it constantly receives heat and minerals from deep within the planet's crust. Its water has a pH level of up to 10.5, nearly as corrosive as ammonia. The lake is filled with volcanic salts and minerals carried by underground springs. Any animal that enters or drinks the water suffers severe burns, and many die within minutes. Their bodies dry out and harden in the salty water, forming natural mummies along the shoreline. Surface temperatures often exceed 60 degrees Celsius, and the water is so dense with minerals that it can bleach anything it touches. Yet, this deadly lake is also a sanctuary. Around 3/4 of the world's lesser flamingos breed here, protected by the same waters that kill most other animals. Lake Natron shows how the same geological forces that destroy can also preserve life. It's a rare example of how Earth's violence creates balance in unexpected ways. But if one lake can hold both life and death, what might the rest of this shifting land still be hiding? That question led scientists north to the Sahara Desert, where the Earth's secrets are written in stone and sand. Africa's split isn't a distant theory. It's a slow, unstoppable transformation happening right now beneath our feet. Millions of years from now, Africa will exist as two separate lands divided by a brand new ocean. It's a reminder that our planet is alive, constantly changing, and never still. What we're witnessing today isn't destruction. It's creation in progress. A new world is already forming beneath us. What do you think the new ocean between the two Africas will look like? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Until then, see ya!